Tell you what, folks. Thursday, Friday last week, the wife said, look, we've got the grandkids for the weekend. We've got two of them. They live out of town now. They live about 20 odd mile away. And we don't have them as much as we'd like to because they live out the way. And she said, look, we've got them for the weekend. Do you fancy going to the cinema with them on a Saturday night? I said, yeah, you can do. I said, I'm not that bothered, but you can do. Because obviously we was watching a film for the kiddies. You know, we watched was it the old Willy Wonka? Yeah, it was the Willy Wonka or whatever it's called. It might be called Wonka. I'm not sure. Anyway, she said, do you fancy? Well, you know, it's not something I'd fancy. But I'll go, of course I will. The grandkids are going, you want some company? We'll go up there. 2 grandkids. Anyway, not been the pictures for a good while. Now, it isn't the big all singing, all dancing one in the town centre, because there's one in the town centre that I believe is mega dear. It was the normal one, about 2 or 3 miles away from me. It's been open a good few years now. But I know they've done it up over the years and whatever else. I mean, when I walked in there, I thought, oh my God, what's going on here? You've got a little table in front of your chair. The chairs recline. There's about 3 or 4 foot in between you and the front row. There's only about 10 rows in there. There's only about 8 chairs per row. Picture fantastic. Sound fantastic. It's better than my living room, man. Fantastic. But it's only when we're in there, I've seen the price of the food and whatever else. Now, the thing is, the downside for me going the pictures is, and I'm on a diet, so I'm not eating a lot. I'm trying to be a good boy, and I'm doing all right on it. But I love the old nachos in the pictures. You know, with the old soft cheese or the hot cheese or whatever it's called, and the old jalapenos. Well, I like that. I thought I'll have to have some of them, even though it had me tea. I thought I'll have to have some of them because I've not been in the pictures for a good while, and I love them. Anyway, I went out before the film started to get them. Now, I must say, I've never seen as many nachos in one serving in the pictures in my life. It's a bigger tray than they're in, much bigger than before, and they were offering 3 dips. And I went for a couple of cheese and one of the salsa. The other one's that, is it guacamole? I don't like any of that stuff, I don't like that. So anyway, do you want jalapenos on, sir, as an extra? I said, oh, go on, I'll have a few of them, so I had them as well. Now, they didn't charge for them, as it turned out, but I'm looking at the prices there, and I'm seeing nachos, $7.49 or $7.99, and I thought, £8 for nachos and cheese. I thought, God, that's dear. Now, I know it's always been dear. I know picture houses are dear, but everything's dear nowadays, and I know it is. But I thought, good God, £8. And they did a meal deal with a drink and a side, which is probably a bag of crisps, £16. And I thought, oh my God, that's expensive. I didn't want anything else. I only wanted the nachos, and I was being greedy anyway, because as I say, I'd already had my tea, but I love them, so I got them. The kids got stuff taken in for them by the wife, which just as well they did, really. They had plenty, so they were happy. Anyway, I thought, £16 for one person for sort of some nachos, a drink, and maybe a bag of crisps. I thought, imagine if there's 3 of you getting it. So I went in and said to the other half, oh my God, I said, they look like a nice portion here. I said, but I nearly died. I said, nigh on £8 just for some nachos. I know they've always been there. She said, well, that's picture houses nowadays. I said, I know. I said, but it's wrong. I said, you get a man and wife with his kids. I said, you know, it's awful. I said, what did the tickets cost then, by the way? I said, if these are dear, they must have been dear. She said, £50. I said, what? She said, £50. I said, what? For 2 adults and 2 kiddies. The kiddies are only under 7. She said, yeah. She said, that was with a discount. I said, with a discount? £50? I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. And I know people say the picture's expensive. I've read it before in the press, but I didn't know how expensive. I'm thinking, when we were kids, you had the old Saturday club. Now, I'm going back away there, folks. Many of you won't know what that is. Some of the older ones will, but many won't. And it wasn't that day. We went nearly every Saturday. Our mum and dads would give us the money. We go nearly every Saturday. Then when we got a bit older, we'd pay for ourselves. Then when we're old enough to go watch pictures we shouldn't see, we'd still get in at 14, 15 and 16 because we looked older. And them days you'd have 2 films on. Often you'd have 2 films on. You'd get a film, then an interlude and another. It was brilliant. I remember the days when I've seen 2 James Bond films in one sitting. The best double bill I've ever seen. I bet no one went to this. Absolutely brilliant. It was Jaws, when Jaws first came out, and it was with a film that not many of you will remember called The Mean Machine. The Mean Machine was about a prison American football team, and Burt Reynolds was your main man. It was absolutely brilliant. They've done it since with Vinnie Jones. I wouldn't pay him in washers. I'd never even think of watching it. I think they called the British one The Longest Yard. They now call the original American one The Longest Yard in many quarters, but some still call it The Mean Machine. You can get it in the odd place. If you've not seen it, watch it, folks. It's absolutely brilliant. I loved it. I think it was made in about 74, 75. A cracky film. I've not seen it for about 10 or 15 years. Still stands up. Really, really good. Anyway, that was a double bill. I'm digressing again. I do it all the time. So anyway, the pictures, 50 quid for 2 adults and 2 kids, and I'm thinking, oh my God, and that's with a discount, and I'm thinking, how on earth can parents today afford that? How can they? I were lucky, folks, from the age of about 22, 23 to late 40s, I did really well for myself business-wise and earned a good few quid. And not bragging at all, because I frittered it all away, but money to an extent was no object, and I probably would have gone, I'd have been that age now with the money I'd have thought, God, that's pretty dear, but then thought nothing of it. But I always genuinely do think of others, and when I went in there, say over the weekend, and she said what it cost, I thought, how can a normal husband and wife in the sort of late 20s, early 30s, or even early 40s, afford to take kiddies to the pictures on a regular basis at them prices? It's just horrendous. It really, really is. I don't know what you feel yourselves, folks, but absolutely horrendous. I just cannot believe it. It's little wonder people watch things on streaming services, and it's even less wonder that people, and I know we shouldn't say this, but I know many do, get these various fire sticks with things loaded on that they shouldn't have, because I know it's an epidemic throughout the country now, and I know everybody's doing it, but you can understand it. A mate of mine's got one and got Oppenheimer on there, and all these things just come out, and the Barbies and whatever. So you'd go with the pictures with a couple of kids, if they could watch Oppenheimer, probably 55, 60 quid. You get a stick for about 40 or 50 quid, I'm told, for the year, and you can watch anything you want. Alright, it's not as good an experience as the pictures, no it's not, but at the end of the day it's a lot better on your pocket, and you understand why people are doing it. They're driving people to that black market. 50 odd quid for 2 adults and 2 kids to watch a 2.5, 3 hour film. It's robbery, folks, and you wonder why these picture houses are going bust, these big pictures, and they are. And it's because they're getting less in, but they're getting less in because they're just overcharging. Massively overcharging. Things like the cinema have gone absolutely through the roof. But wages and everything else haven't moved to follow it. It's just madness. I do feel sorry, folks, for the younger ones amongst you that have got kiddies that take them to the pictures. I feel sorry for those grandparents that feel obliged to take kids to the picture on a regular basis. Because every time you must go, you must look at your pocket when you're finished and thought, oh my God, that's been a very expensive night out tonight. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't, honestly. I just think we're being robbed, folks. We're being robbed everywhere. Electricity, gas, food, fuel, picture houses, everything. It's just going absolutely berserk. Honestly, the country it's going to hell in a handcart at the moment. It really is. And I can't see any light at the end of the tunnel. How I've got to all that from the picture house, I don't know. But I tend to do these things, folks. That's what I tend to do.